What up? I got Naskin here with me. This ain't a diss song, but yeah, you know what it is. I'm a cheesehead, y'all niggas cheese whiz. Pittsburgh Steelers, that's nothing. That Super Bowl ring, that's nothing. Pull up in your town when you.
I'm sure no one would have faulted Mason if he didn't show up for the game on Sunday. What did it mean to you to give him that game ball, and what did, how he showed up say about him as a teammate?
Yeah, it shows, I think, how important this football team is to him. And just, nobody knows what somebody's going through in that type of situation. Obviously, we all feel for him, and but for him to come through for this football team means a lot to everybody in that locker room, in this organization. So he made a big time kick in that game, and he's played at a high level all year long, at a Pro Bowl level. So just happy that he's a part of what we're doing here.
What were your conversations like with him after he found out on Friday, and kind of logistically what your approach was, both this past weekend and then this week going forward?
Yeah, well, he came up and talked to me, and it's hard to have the right words for anybody in that situation, and I just told him, hey, let us know what you want to do, and we'll accommodate. And again, just my heart breaks for those guys.
Matt, how would you rate just the degree of difficulty of that field goal he hit, 47 yards in those conditions? Because that was like kind of the snowiest part of the game, too.
Sure. Well, they told me too. Prior to, we always have our line that we need to gain in order to attempt a field goal, and they told me the 27-yard line prior to the game. And then we get in that situation, and I yelled at Mason, hey, can you get it here? And he gave me the thumbs up, so we sent him out there, and it's a good thing because those were important points at that point in time.
So what made you overrule the line?
I just always, I'm gonna trust what our players think they're capable of doing, and I wanted to ask him at least, and if he would have had any type of hesitation at all, I wouldn't have put him in that situation. But like I said, got a lot of confidence, a lot of faith in him, and he's answered every time.
Zadarius mentioned after the game about how important it was that you've relied on sort of the leadership council, or whatever you want to call it, of players, and that you guys got together last week. How often does that happen, and what's the benefit of that, especially in a situation like last week?
Yeah, that was kind of an impromptu thing. They came to me and said there was a group of guys that wanted to meet, and I said, hey, let's meet. And I think it's always important to kind of gauge the pulse of the team, and you use your leaders to do that. If things need to be handled by the players, or if they've got some concerns, that line of communication is always open. Because the bottom line is we're all trying to do the right thing here, and that's win as many football games as we can.
What was the impetus, do you think, for them wanting to meet with you? Was there something that they just wanted to air?
Yeah, there's some stuff that I'm going to keep between between the team, and but I always want to encourage that open line of communication. I think that's absolutely critical to our success here.
I was just going to say, he said there was pretty good frank give and take. Usually those things, I don't know how they go, but I mean, he said it was very open-ended and honest both ways. Critical of some of the things you've been doing, you're critical of some of the performance things. Does that make it even more worthwhile when you're that forthright?
Are you telling me what they were saying? Like I said, it's just, I think you always got to be honest with each other, and that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to be about, and I want to make sure that that line of communication is always open.
You just talk about how he's playing, Zadarius. I mean, he's really been applying pretty good pressure the last few weeks in particular.
Yeah, he spent a lot of time in the backfield. I think the NFL, I believe, had him credited for 10 pressures on the quarterback, and of course Mike Smith had him for 2 more than that. But no, he's been a consistent player, and that's one thing that I know we can count on each and every week is he's going to go out there and he's going to play 100 miles an hour and he's going to make plays for us.
So, going back to Rob's question, you know, the way you've been with us has been backed up by talking to your guys. And, you know, we all have egos. Rob's got a big one. But you're in charge, you're the boss. And yet you know, whether it's taking the blame for things and saying it's my fault or this kind of thing, like you really do seem to humble yourself with this stuff. Is that a philosophical thing for you? Because you could rule with more of an iron fist, it sounds like, and it sounds like the guys appreciate the approach that you take.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to be myself, and I'm not going to sit up here and say that I have all the answers, and I don't really care. It's not about who's right. It's about what's right and what's right for this football team.
Is Aaron going to be able to audible by screaming "Big Dog" again? Because people know that's my team's nickname now.
Yeah, I know. That was pretty obvious. But what a play by those two guys. I mean, that was an incredible play. Not necessarily always the way you draw it up, because certainly we don't want somebody or Aaron having to fight through a tackle to get that ball out. But that was an incredible play by those two guys, and we're going to have to come up with something else for that audible.
At his locker on Wednesday, he said, "I've got to get hot for us to get to where we want to go." What did you think of yesterday? Was that the start of him getting hot? And what are your expectations for a guy that obviously the expectations are always extremely high for?
Yeah, just to do your absolute best each time you're out on that field, and I think we get that from him each and every week. Yeah, there were so many plays in that game that were just, you just don't see guys make those types of plays. The one to Gmo on the 4th and 10 versus 2-man. Gmo, first of all, did a great job of typically in 2-man, you're not supposed to win inside. So Gmo stemmed up, ran a great route, doubled up the defender at the top of his route, and was able to break across. And then Aaron hung in the pocket and then drifted and was getting hit as he released that ball. Like, you don't see many people that are physically capable of making that play. And there were a number of other plays in that game where it's just you're like, wow, you know. And but that's the standard that he set because he's done it so many times.
So what does it take to get, like, you were on the Falcons staff when these guys won 8 in a row to come into that NFC Championship game. You got Matt Ryan on, you know, you had him when he was really hot. What are the different variables that have to kind of click for a quarterback to get on that kind of run?
Yeah, I think it's not only the quarterback, it's the other 10 guys around him have to be playing at a high level in order to do some of those types of things. And so, you know, we always talk about all 11, and it truly is going to take everybody to be at their best in order for us to go to where we want to go.
Friday, you were saying 4th down calls were a gut decision. You wouldn't, say that there was no distance, I guess, specifically you would go for it. So what went into that decision to go for it on 4th and 10?
Yeah, I just thought we were a little bit out of field goal range for the conditions, and, a punt wasn't going to give us too much right there. And I trust our guys, and we've been converting on 3rd down the majority of the game. It was we knew going into the game the goal was to get over 50% on 3rd down, and we were able to accomplish that. So it was just one of those deals where we thought we had a decent play call, and I trusted. I thought the protection was solid up to that point, and I thought Aaron was doing a really good job of manipulating the pocket, moving around, buying time. And so just felt like it was the right time to go for it.
You talked a lot about your receiver rotation, but the way Allen played yesterday, and he's put together some of those performances this year, is he earning more and more of a share of things? Again, not that you're going to go away from giving everybody a shot at it, but...
Yeah, Allen's really done a great job. He's really taking advantage of his opportunities. And, he not only did it on offense, but he did it on special teams as well. Matter of fact, we had 2 offensive players of the week, and Aaron Rodgers and Alan Lazard, and then Allen also was our special team player of the week. So I think that's a great message to everybody in that locker room that you can play, whether it's offense or defense, at a high level, but also go out there and play special teams at a high level. So really happy for him. He's earned everything he's gotten. Guy that just shows up every day, knows what to do. You know you're going to get the max effort out of him. You can see it in the run game. He's physical. He blocks every play. Just he's going to leave it all out there.
That blocking part, it is December, and I'm assuming, I mean, not that run blocking isn't always important, but maybe it heightens up this time of year. Is that a value that he provides?
Absolutely, yeah. He's physical in the run game. That's something that we stress with all our receivers is, again, they're the ones that kind of allow those chunk runs, those 10, 15-yarders to become touchdown runs. And certainly we're going to need that moving forward.
Since Aaron Jones went on his kind of touchdown binge, have teams played the box any differently? And what are some of the factors that you just haven't been able to kind of get the run game going? I know it's fewer snaps, yesterday in the first half, and there have been a couple of other occasions where it just hasn't gotten any traction for you.
Yeah, no, we got to do a better job. And again, it starts up front, and as well as with some of our plan. We had a couple of runs where we were in 11 personnel, they were in base defense, and we don't want to put our guys in that situation. So that falls on us. That falls on me as a play caller and making sure that I don't do that to our guys, because it's tough to run when you're in 11 personnel and they're sitting there in their base defense. It's tough to get everybody blocked up the way you want to block them up. So just got to have a better plan for them.
We've been asking you a lot about JK's struggles in cold weather recently. Would I be correct in saying he did a lot better yesterday?
Yeah, he was awesome. It was like it was early in the season, and so I know he knows it. He's working through it. He's battling each and every day. I love what he's all about, and it was just good to see that kind of performance from him. I think we had two inside the 20, and the one was down on like the 5-yard line, and he did a great job.
When the field is covered like it was yesterday, is it harder for whoever's giving you the down and distance call than to get your call in? Does that slow the process down at all, or not?
I didn't think it factored in really that much yesterday. I'll tell you what was hard was just our guys trying to find their landmarks on the field, because you couldn't see the numbers. At one point you couldn't see the hashes. I look down the sideline and I see Manny and some of our other players trying to carve out the sideline so the officials could officiate the game. So those were some wild conditions. I thought anytime you get in games like that, the ball becomes at a premium in terms of winning the ball and ball security. And I thought our guys, for the most part, we had a couple that came out that we were fortunate that we didn't lose, but for the most part, our guys did a pretty solid job of handling the football.
From upstairs, we could see that the lines that the guys were shoveling weren't exactly
Sure.
straight. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah, I noticed it when I watched the tape today, or yesterday on the plane home.
Speaking of the tape, does it look a lot better today than it did last week?
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess the reason why I asked is, how do you, without, I don't know what all you guys are looking at, but no offense to the Giants, they're not a great team.
I think that,
but
you know
play
what?
The Niners
I do
are,
think
the
they
Vikings
are.
are.
I do think they're better than what people think, and I think that's reflective of, again, it was 17-13 in the fourth quarter. We knew it was going to be a battle. They've battled everybody all year long. It's been a one-possession game, and now in each of their last 7 games. So, yeah, I know the Niners. They're one of the premier teams in the National Football League, and the bottom line is with this league, I don't care who you're playing. You better show up each and every week and give your best. Otherwise, you could be playing a 2-win team and get embarrassed. So that's the mindset that we have.
I guess what I was getting at is you play the Niners or the Vikings, you beat. Your individuals are probably going to get beat more often just because they're playing better guys. Do you grade differently based on, you're playing this guy's playing a Pro Bowl this game, and the next time it's some rookie?
No, I think you always have to have a standard, and the standard stays the same no matter who you're playing. And again, it's our job, if there are some tough matchups, to try to game plan around those and make sure that we're putting our guys in a position to go out there and have success.
Two more, please.
So Matt, you talk about all 11. For your offensive line, I know it's all 5 plus with the other guys. But you look at the 2 games where your line has really struggled. It was San Francisco where Brian went out after 9 plays, and it was Los Angeles where he was playing with that cast thing, and he was clearly overcompensating, it looked like. Is your line different when you have Brian on the field? Like, is there a different vibe? He's obviously a very good player, but is your line different when you have him at being him?
Yeah, I think any time that you have, it's just the cohesiveness of that group, I think, more than anything else. And anytime you take a great player off the field, it certainly doesn't help you. And we know he is so consistent for us, and he's done a great job. And but he is. The more you can keep the starting 5, I think anybody around the league, the better the performance will be.
Oh yeah. Young Moolah, baby.